Welcome to the Houghton Lake Public Library's Tech Short Series. Today, we're going to take a look at joining a Zoom meeting on an Apple device, such as an iPad or an iPhone. Today, we'll be using an iPad, but an iPhone should have the same steps. If you're like most people, at some point you've been invited to join a Zoom meeting, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to set it up on your Apple device. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the App Store. And then up at the top, you're going to want to make a search. And we're going to search for Zoom. And then we're going to tap search. You'll see there's a few different Zoom results here. The one we're looking for is Zoom Cloud Meetings. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the download button. Yours might say get, and that's fine too. Mine is just a download button because I've installed it once before. We're going to wait for the download and installation process to happen. And once it says open, we're ready to go. So I'm going to go back to the main screen. And now if somebody's invited you to join a Zoom meeting, it's likely going to be in your email. So I'm going to go ahead and open Chrome, where I've already logged into my Gmail account. Whatever email you use, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, whatever, one from your internet service provider, just go ahead and use your normal email and look for the link to join a Zoom meeting that would have been sent to you by the person that requested the Zoom meeting with you. So in this case, we have this email here that says join Zoom meeting with a link to the meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that link. Now it's going to tell us we need to push this launch meeting button. So we're going to go ahead and launch the meeting. And it also says down here if you don't have the Zoom client installed, you can download it here, but that is the step we did right at the beginning, so we don't have to do this step. And it's important to note you only have to install the client once, so that first step we did of going to the App Store, we never have to do that again. We're already done with that. So for all future meetings, you won't have to do that step. So we're going to go ahead and hit launch meeting. And it's going to ask you to enter your name here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in Brandon. And then I'm going to tap on continue. And it says Zoom would like to access the camera. Let's say OK. And it's going to give you an option whether or not you want to join with video or not. Let's say join with video. Zoom would like to access the microphone. Let's say OK. And it would like to send notifications. You could technically not allow this one, but I'll say allow on this one as well. And now we have to wait for the meeting host to let us in. Okay, we'll see the host has let us in. It's giving us an option here. We're going to say call using internet audio. And we're in. The screen in the center here is the screen sent to you by the host. In my case, it's just a picture of the back office. Nothing super interesting, but hopefully in your case, it would be the face of the person you're talking to. Down in the bottom here, you can see your camera and what it's showing. Again, in this case, it's just kind of showing the ceiling, but if I pick it over, we could get my face on there. Set that back down. Now there is some options you can look at, depending on what you want to do. So if you tap anywhere on the screen, you'll have some options that come up for you. So one important option up here is you could technically mute yourself. This would mute your microphone so that other people in the call can't hear you. This can be important to use if you're in a meeting and you're not expected to talk, and so you don't want the host or anyone else to hear you. It could also be useful if there's something loud going on in the background, maybe a loud car, a lawnmower, or something, and you just want to mute yourself so no one can see you or no one can hear you. Similarly, there's a stop video button, and you'll see that blanks out your video. So again, if for some reason you need to block out your video, you can do that temporarily. If you tap on those again, you'll see the little red line goes away, and you're unmuted and your camera's back. Some other things you can look at is the participants over here. This will show you who's in the call. In this case, it's just me twice, but hopefully your call is a little more interesting. Then there's the more option. You get a few other options in here. The one you'd probably be most interested in is the chat. And this is a spot where people in the meeting could talk to each other via text. So perhaps they wanted to ask a question amongst the group without interrupting the person speaking. close this. And one other thing you might want to do is there's this button here in the More section that says Raise Hand. And some presenters will use that to see if someone has a question. Now, typically speaking, the presenter will tell you ahead of time if the Raise Hand feature is something they expect you to use or not. So go ahead and follow their advice there if they say that Raise Hand is something you should use. And other than that, there's not a whole lot more that goes into these calls. They're pretty simple to set up. They're pretty simple to use. And going forward, now that you already have these Zoom clients set up, in the future, you would just be clicking on that link, launching the meeting, and you'd pretty much be in and ready to go because your settings with your microphone and everything are already set up. Once you're done with the call and ready to leave, you can tap on that on your screen anywhere, and you'll see that you get a leave button, and then a leave meeting, and then you've exited the meeting. The meeting will also end automatically when the host ends the meeting. As far as using Zoom on an Apple device, that is all there is to it. You just join the meeting by clicking on the link in your email, and once the Zoom client is already installed, like we did in the first step, it should just launch right up and you're pretty much ready to go. Thank you for watching this episode of the Houghton Lake Public Library's Tech Short Series. If you like this content, consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to be notified for future content. Thank you.